Well, COVID-19 brought many industries to their knees, one of them, of course, the aviation sector. And while it's slowly finding its wings once more, there are many issues that workers are facing every day.
Just recently, several issues in aviation were raised, causing the public to question the safety of flying. Heidi Jacos speaks to two pilots on what it's like working in the industry as we reflect on Workers' Day.
Workers' Day has come and gone with many issues still persistent in the workplace. One of the industry's hardest hit is aviation. Here in South Africa, the national carrier was facing turbulence way before the COVID-19 pandemic.
There's going to be a job shortage again, and we're going to be a required necessity again because people are wanting to travel. They're wanting to get out there and go. Once the country gets up and going and gets everything a little bit back to normal, whatever that might be, maybe they can start looking at those avenues. And now again, but at this stage, there's so many qualified pilots that don't have a job, that are desperate for work, that are desperately seeking to get back into where they were. So I think I think we need to just get through the next 2 years.
Chief pilot at SAA says sometimes the importance of an airline is overlooked in how many jobs are created in the industry.
You'll be surprised that you have over 20,000 jobs that are created associated with South African Airways, whether it's supplying bread, whether it's supplying milk, whether it's supplying sugar, water. All those things are industries that are suddenly there and being stimulated by our presence. And when you take a look at those industries and you look at how many people are employed, you realize that we employ over 20,000 people. And then when you look at the fact that the average South African that earns a salary, they support at least 10 people, you know, between yourself, your partner, your 2 kids, your domestic, their 2 kids, your gardener, his 2 kids, your mom, your father, your partner's mother, your partner's father. Those are the sort of people who just depend on every salary. And that's, you're looking at about 14 people already. But so there is a huge give back in that.
And while there have been a number of challenges, not just because of COVID-19, some industries could make a significant difference in the unemployment rate. There are also calls for the youth to be trained and skilled, especially in critical skills such as aviation. Heidi Jacos, Johannesburg.
And of course, the KwaZulu-Natal floods have created the latest challenge for the aviation industry. The railway line that transports jet fuel to OR Tambo International Airport has been damaged and will only be repaired fully next month.
Yeah, and SAA's chief pilot, Mpoma Mashele, says the workaround plans, which of course, to ensure there's enough jet fuel at the country's main airport, involves sourcing fuel from other airports around South Africa. And he says that is still quite a challenge.
It is a big concern. It's still going on in certain areas. Our fuel supply comes from the coast, Durban area, and it's predominantly moved by pipeline. So with the floods and the damage that took place in Natal, there was damage to the pipeline, and the ability to get the supply that we need became affected. And so what ended up happening was that the fuel supply in OR Tambo became limited. So we had to then manage how we share that fuel that was available amongst all the carriers. So fortunately for us at SAA, we have a very good team of management people who were looking at how we can carry on with our operations. And so we embarked on basically what we refer to as a tankering strategy. That is whereby we uplift more fuel at destination and bring as much as we can back. And we use then that fuel to fly on a domestic route without depleting our resources at OR Tambo and helping those resources to last as long as possible. But it has been a critical situation.